I'm discovering things as I've been writing songs, and you learn things all the time about it. And one of the things you learn, what is an original idea? What's an original thought? Because all songs start with a thought. And some time ago, I can remember either writing it down as an idea for a poem or something, or just saying it to someone, on the theme of things we might have done, things we think we should have done, parts of our life, taken a job, met that person, stayed with that person. What would life have been like if we hadn't? How would it have turned out? And I had this phrase in my mind: there's no such thing as what might have been. There's only what happened. There's only the history, the reality. And I thought, oh, I've got a good idea. And as I start to write songs, I'll put that into a song. Which I've done. Then, I bought this T.S. Eliot selected poems a few years ago when I was given a book voucher. I don't generally go and buy brand new books from Waterstones unless someone else has given me the money for it. But I've always thought I should look into T.S. Eliot and find out. So I got the book. It's been on my shelf for a long time, but I actually picked it up. But after I started this idea, I did pick it up. No reason, no connection. And I found, you know the four quartets, the famous thing of T.S. Eliot. The very first one is called Burnt Norton, and this is what he's written there. Time present and time past are both perhaps present in time future, and time future contained in time past. If all time is eternally present, all time is unredeemable. What might have been is an abstraction, remaining a perpetual possibility only in a world of speculation. What might have been and what has been point to one end, which is always present. Footfalls echoed in the memory, down the passage which we did not take, towards the door we never opened, into the rose garden. My words echo thus in your mind, but to what purpose? Disturbing the dust in a bowl of rose leaves, I do not know. And then, researching a little bit more, I heard of, there's a poet called John Greenleaf Whittier, American. As it happens, influenced by Robert Burns, apparently. He was very strong in the abolition of slavery movement. He was a Quaker, and he was associate of Longfellow with Emerson, people like that. And he wrote this, quite a long book, not really the whole thing, called Maud Muller, about a young girl, one country girl, who was just in the country one day, living a simple life, and a judge goes by, riding his horse, stops. She's by a river, and she pours him a drink, and they speak for a little while, and as they separate, as they part, they both reflect on that sort of thing about, well, what would my life be like, she thinks, if I'm just going to be here, a country girl, poor and a drudge probably the rest of my life. If I were to be with that judge, to be his wife, how much different my life would be. And similarly, the judge rides off there. I've got this serious courtroom stuff and all this stuff, and a wife who expects this of me. What would life be different if I could just have this simple life in the country with this girl? And they're both having this sort of thought. So that's the whole poem is about that. And it ends up, the final penultimate part of it, alas for the maiden, alas for the judge, for rich repiner and household drudge. God pity them both, and pity us all, who vainly the dreams of youth recall. For all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been. Regrets and remorse are bad for the soul. The road not taken goes nowhere at all. Turn the page over, wipe the slate clean. No such thing as what might have been. Letting it go, putting it down, swayed off your shoulders as it falls to the ground. Live for the present is what the wise people mean. No such thing as what might have been. Maybe you could have or you should have. You may have, but you didn't. What you ought to or you thought of doing might have made a difference. Who knows? Who can say? Letting go's the only way. Pass and you fail. We live and we learn. Try to get it right before we make that final turn. No need to question, what did it all mean? No such thing as what might have been. Retrieved, TSE and Whittier agreed. Kicking over traces is not what we need. The story's been told, it's the end of the scene. No such thing as what might have been. Maybe you could have or you should have. You may have, but you didn't. What you ought to or you thought of doing might have made a difference. Who knows? Who can say? Letting go's the only way. Chance and opportunity, they come and they go. Future from the past is what we'll never know. Thoughts bring illusions, creating a dream. No such thing as what might have been. Regrets and remorse are bad for the soul. The road not taken goes nowhere at all. Turn the page over, wipe the slate clean. No such thing as what might have been.